Yeah, it was amazing. Then you see Marcus walking off there again was excellent. I think United are happy, especially with, I think it was Kunde who brought him down. It could have easily been a sending off. I think it was just outside the box, so not a penalty. So United are frustrated. You can see that, and that shows it's a mark of where they've come in the game over the last probably 3 or 4 months since Casemiro started playing, since Marcus started flying. They look a proper team now. To come to Barcelona, get a result like that is really good, and as good as you can expect at this stage.
I think it was interesting when we had Eric Ten Hag before the game. We both thought they'd come here. Barcelona so good in possession, they play on the counter, and he stood in between us and said, you know, players need to get on the ball. Luke Shaw playing as a centre back, he needs to come out. We need to make them run, and that's exactly what happened today. He can be. That manager is instilling confidence, obviously, in the players and in the fans, and even in us in that little short time he was with us. And you can see it transmits to the pitch. The players believe to come here and put in a performance like that. They're playing brilliantly.
Yeah, what a game. We'll take a look back at all the goals in just a moment, but this 2-2 draw here at the Camp Nou wasn't the only match taking place in the Europa League tonight. Salzburg have beaten Roma 1-0 at home. Shakhtar Donetsk on their return to European action have beaten Rennes by 2-1, and it was goalless between Ajax and Union Berlin in the other match. And then 4 more games about to get underway on BT Sport in around about 15 minutes time. You can watch all of those live on BT, and there's plenty more live European football on BT Sport next week, starting with the Champions League. Anfield is going to be rocking on Tuesday as Liverpool host Real Madrid in a repeat of last year's final, while Frankfurt take on Napoli. Wednesday sees Pep Guardiola's Manchester City travel to Leipzig, and Inter Milan are up against Porto. So all of that to look forward to next week in the Champions League. But what a game we've had here at the Camp Nou. 4 goals all scored in that second half. We'll take a look back at all of the action after this break. And Owen Hargreaves, who are watching alongside me here at the Camp Nou. What a game we just saw, and what a second half, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. It's what you expect from these two teams, both attacking, want to score goals, and one thing they did was entertain us for goals, great goals. I'm not too sure about that, maybe goalkeepers and a couple of mistakes, but you can see both managers there are frustrated. They both thought they could have won the game. I thought Ten Hag especially will go away a little bit disappointed, but to come to Barcelona, draw in Barcelona, 2-2, score a couple of goals. I think they're in a fantastic position for next week.
Well, we knew that they were going to attack the game in a positive manner because Eric Ten Hag told us that before the game, Owen. But what we saw out there on the pitch was just brilliant in that second half. And because of the amount of chances they had, and they went 2-1 up, will there be an element of disappointment that they haven't gone away with the win?
I wouldn't say they'll be disappointed. I think that they'd be slightly disappointed that they didn't win the game, but I think they just played so well and created so much. So I think there's plenty to be proud of. He said before the game they'll go toe-to-toe. You know, it's easy to say that, but then you got to go out and do it on the pitch, and they actually did that. So I think I'd be really proud of it. You think about the way they started the season, Brighton, Brentford, and then to come here and play that way against a team that's top of La Liga. Credit to the players and to the manager. They're definitely on the right path. They can go back to Old Trafford and finish the job.
From the way the season started, as Owen said, with those big defeats at the start of the Premier League campaign, will it have been difficult for Eric Ten Hag to change the mentality of these players to become this side that are now still alive in all 4 competitions this season and well on their way to potentially a trophy?
Yes, it wouldn't have been easy, but he's an experienced manager. You've seen what he's come in and done. He's instilled discipline into the team. I think each player knows their role in the team. And I think the biggest plus was Casemiro. I think as soon as Casemiro came into this team, the team transformed. As I said, he's almost like the manager on the football pitch. He's the coach. He's doing the manager's job on there, especially with young players coming into the team as well.
That's a good point, Scott, because even Fred, rather than playing that deeper one, he's actually playing a bit further forward. And
I think he's better further forward.
And he was really good today, wasn't he? You know, he's
Second
involved in that goal from Marcus. So Casemiro makes everybody look better. He makes the centre-backs look better. He makes all the other players, whether it's Fred and Bruno, so he's had such an impact.
I can't tell you how important it is to have that player in the middle of the pitch who's so dominant, stays there, plays the position perfectly well. It gives everybody, the attacking players, it just gives them freedom. You know, I don't have to be running back and sprinting. Well, you do sprint back, of course you do. But you just got that license to get forward and be creative because you know there's just a solid base, a foundation, great experience, plays for Brazil, Real Madrid, so many trophies. It's just brilliant to know what you've got behind you.
We talked before the game about whether or not this game would be won or lost because of the midfield battle. It's ended a draw, obviously, but would you say that Manchester United came away stronger in that position?
I reckon the Barcelona players and Xavi will be in that dressing room thinking, wow, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see Manchester United coming here and trying to dictate to us a little bit as well. So I don't think they had any fear. I don't think they had any doubt. And if anything, I think Barcelona will be thinking, wow, if they're going to play that well here at our stadium, you know, what's going to happen at Old Trafford. So I think the Barcelona players will be a little bit worried. I thought Gavi was fantastic in the game. I thought Pedri going off had a big impact on the way Barcelona played. But I think they can step it up, Barcelona, as well. They can play better, and I'm sure they will at Old Trafford.
Yeah, no Gavi for the game next week at Old Trafford, of course, because he picked up a yellow card tonight, so he'll be suspended for the second leg. But let's get some instant reaction now from the Manchester United camp. Erik ten Hag has been talking to Des Kelly.
Erik, you wanted to be aggressive tonight. Is that what we saw from Manchester United?
I think we dictated the game, and a part of maybe 15 minutes first half, we had some difficulties, but for the rest, we dictating the game and we outplayed so many chances. So I was a little bit disappointed that in halftime it was 0-0 because we should have scored, and the opportunities they had, we created it by ourselves. But I think it was a great game. Two attacking teams. I think it was really Champions League, and even more than that. So I really enjoyed the game. A lot of fun. In the end, 2-2. We have to finish it in Old Trafford.
You found your cutting edge in the second half. You got that clinical edge. You had to come back from a goal down. So there's a lot of character in the side there.
We have a lot of character, determination in this team. Only what I missed. So the belief we had to score the first goal, and the meaning of the first goal is so important, and that's what we didn't do. And then we turned around when we were down, and then I think the refereeing had a big influence in this game. I think it was a clear foul on Messi. You can discuss if it's in or outside the box.
Looked like it was just out. But yeah.
Okay, but then it's a red card because he was one-on-one with the keeper. So it's a big influence, not only on this game, but in this round. And it can't be. Refereeing can't make such mistake.
And Rashford is still in that amazing form at the moment. He's very difficult to stop.
He is. But I think that, of course, I will credit Rashford, definitely, because he's in a great form. But the whole team did well. I think it was a really cool team performance.
You decided to use Weghorst in a deeper position again. You tried it for a few minutes against Leeds. The plan worked tonight?
I think so. But it's not only about Wout, but he did well in that position. And I know he can be, but it gives us a lot of variation. But also, I want to, with Jaden and with Bruno coming in the half spaces, get them on the ball and make runs from deep. And with the fullbacks joining in, I think we had a lot of variation and we had a lot of opportunities, and we should have won this game.
We're all looking forward to the return at Old Trafford.
If the game is like this, I can imagine everyone want to see that game.
Thanks, Erik.
Yeah,
Okay.
We agree with that. We're all looking forward to next Thursday live at Old Trafford. You can watch that, of course, on BT Sport. We'll be pitch side for that one. Look, Erik ten Hag there reflecting on the match. He said they dictated the game and said that Barcelona's chances were only created due to Manchester United's mistakes. Do you agree with that?
I do, yeah, especially when you look at the first goal as well. I think Malacia is the lad who doesn't pick up Alonso. He lets him free, really. It's only a basic bit of movement as well from Alonso that loses him. Fred as well probably didn't challenge as he could. And I also, we'll see the goal there. Now you see him, look, it's a basic bit of movement from Alonso. Malacia doesn't stay with him. I also think the keeper could do better. I think it goes in quite easily at that near post. David looks a little bit worried about colliding with the...
When you're marking someone, you've got him in your vision, and you keep an eye on the ball, and then you just lose him for a second. That split second, that's what decides the game. And we've said it, whether it's Champions League, whether it's Europa League, the margins are so fine. You've got to do your job. I think Erik ten Hag will be disappointed the fact, if you're given a job to mark someone, you've got to mark him right to the end, right till the player's over. Felt like it was a nothing goal, really, from Barca. Up to that point, United played great, but credit Manchester United, you know. They bounced back after that, disappointing set piece.
It didn't take them long either. Ten Hag saying he was proud of the response that his Manchester United side gave, and it was less than 3 minutes later that Marcus Rashford equalled.
He decides games.
You do, and we have to give Fred credit, as you said, in the second half especially. I thought it was fantastic in that position further forward. Lovely way to pass. Again, you'd have to question the goalkeeper, but Marcus, the form he's on, you'd fancy him to score. Yeah,
he's equalled his most prolific season ever for Manchester United, scoring 22 goals in the 2019-20 season. We're only halfway through, so he's in incredible form right now. Manchester United took the lead as well. It was an own goal, but Marcus Rashford, once again, at the heart of it, Paul.
Yes, he was, and look, that's just the form he's in. Me and Owen talk about how can you just leave 1 against 2 there. Rafinha, not a defender, a wide player up against Marcus Rashford. He could fly past defenders as easily as that. It's a great bit of skill. I think you have to give Casemiro a little bit of credit at the back post as well. He makes it difficult for Koundé as well. And look, eventually it's an own goal, but again, Marcus, big influence on the game.
Yeah, I think Xavi is disappointed just in the organisation, the fact that it's 2v1 there, and if Marcus sees that, he's going to exploit that. Rafinha sees in 1v1, I'm going to get in there. Scholes makes a great point about Casemiro. He just bumps Koundé, and it puts him off, and he's not sure, and that's where the own goal comes from. But credit Marcus, he just has such an impact on games, and when he's running forward, I just don't think you can stop him.
Yeah, his overall game was fantastic. Before the game, we talked about the magnitude of a fixture like this and whether Marcus Rashford scoring and having an impact in a game like this would see him be classed as one of the best goal scorers in the world. After what we saw tonight, he certainly did that, didn't he?
Well, he is at this point, of course. With this season, he's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You'd like to see it over the next 4 or 5 years if he's going to get to the levels of the really top players in the world. But tonight, come to Barcelona, come to this stadium, great atmosphere. Look, it's a little bit wild there. It's probably one of his better chances, actually. But his all-round play, his ability to go past people, his movement, as we said, the goal. I know the keeper should probably do better, but he's got the power to do that. And his all-round game at the minute is nothing short of brilliant.
You know, I like to see him, Scott. I like to actually see him play in different positions. I know he looks brilliant off the left, but Ten Hag played him quite central today. Wout Weghorst played deeper, but actually all the goals or the moments came off the right-hand side. So yeah. Marcus, I think if he's allowed to drift and pick up places, pick up positions, again, I don't think you can stop him. I don't think he looks at any defender and sees any fear. And Koundé's a great athlete. Araujo, he's a terrific athlete. But Marcus, I don't think he had any fear, whoever was in front of him. If he's positive and runs forward, I think he thinks he can beat anybody right now.